Internet, good morning. My name is Magnitude, aka Steve, and welcome to the BBR Season 3 Draft Analysis. I'm back. We got a whole list of Mons that we were not able to use last year because Pokemon Home decided let's keep giving these guys more options. And you know, the more options there are, the more things that I'm going to overthink about. And the more possibilities I'm going to, play out in my head that the opponent can do. And then eventually I'm just going to waste all the time before the timer goes down. And there's 3 seconds left in the time clock. And I'm too flushed to pick the right moves. I'm going to pick the wrong goddamn move. And then in the end, I'm going to lose and not make the playoffs because of fucking more peek out. God, piece of shit. Do you guys like the intro? It took me longer than I'm willing to admit that it did for that, but I like it, and I'm going to use it all year. Obviously, it spoiled some of the picks, but once we get to, literally after this video, once it won't even be a spoil anymore. And if you watch the, the live stream, you wouldn't be spoiled anyway. So this is more of an analysis and less than a reveal. So let's get to it. We got Galarian Darmanitan numero uno. I think I was pick 4 or 5, somewhere in that range. And when Galarian Darmanitan falls to you, you're gonna get Galarian Darmanitan. There's no two ways about it. With the new additions to this league, the new Pokemon that you could draft now because of Pokemon Home and all that great stuff. A lot of new stuff came in that are gonna push something like Galarian Darmanitan down maybe farther than it would. So like last season, right? Galarian Darmanitan would be first overall, no questions asked. But now with a lot more Pokemon existing in the meta. It's gonna be a little more, diverse in that top section of the draft. So I'm able to get Galarian Darmanitan, and a lot of the new, high-powered Mons are gonna be weak to ice. You got Thundurus, Landorus, Tornadus. I believe 2 of the Galarian birds are weak to ice, and then you got things like the Tapus that don't want to take. I mean, Tapu Fini really being the only one that can kind of slow down Galarian Darmanitan, but. Galarian Darmanitan as a Mon to build around. A1 perfection, absolutely the best thing I could have taken at the time. And now the goal is to kind of build around what Galarian Darmanitan can do best, and that's hit hard offensively. So now, let's move on to the second pick. And we can kind of complement what Darmanitan can do. So in things that I did not expect to happen, Dracovish fell back to me in a 20-person draft. I had absolutely no intention of taking Dracovish until I got about 3 picks away, and I'm thinking, Dracovish is still around. I could snag that, and then it's going to really hinder the rest of my team-building ability, but it's also going to force people to have to stop both Galarian Darmanitan and Dracovish, which, sure, they're both physically offensive, but that's a tall task. That is not easy to do, especially in a 20-person draft. Granted, there are more Mons that you can take because more Mons are available. We've been over this, but Dracovish existing on this team, it's. I'm hoping it's more like a Kobe Shaq thing rather than like a Dwight Howard, Steve Nash thing, right? Like that. I don't want that to happen, but. When the time comes and I was left with Dracovish there, I could not say no. I know this is going to force people to have to build. People are going to have to consider my team when drafting from here on out. So they're going to have to try to get really gobble up bulky waters and just kind of any real physically offensive Mon, because these 2 Mons together are going to create so much offensive pressure. Now the task for me is I have to pick. I gotta pick. I gotta pick 9 more Mons with only 700 points. So it's gonna be. It's gonna be. Yeah, it's going to be something. So now the goal is to support these 2 Mons, because when I picked Dracovish, I pretty much decided I can't really build defensively anymore. I have to build a team that can support these 2 and these 2 alone, because it's just these 2 are so good that I can't, here's my special offensive switch in. I don't know if I can really do that. A, given the points I have left, and B, to fit the team, because now the team is going to be focused on these 2 guys. So now it's time to support them. So we going full on cheerleader. No, we're not. We're not going cheerleader. We're going to emotional support, physical support, team support. we're going to support them. We are. Super great support time. Go. Pick 3. Yeah. So now with the third pick, I snag up Roserade. And Roserade does a couple of things. Now again, most of these mons are going to be specific to what the team needs to support Dracovish and Darmanitan. This may be a horrible team strategy, but, you know, after last season ended so horrifically, you know, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. So, obviously, Roserade is here, obviously, to take out the bulky waters that Dracovish is going to oppose, and the fairies that Dracovish might also, you know, might run into. So it's kind of the perfect complement for Dracovish. Also, it's going to allow me some hazard support. I can get spikes up, or toxic spikes even. It's also going to allow me to have a aromatherapy user if I wanted that. Maybe Dracovish has gotten poisoned from entering on toxic spikes himself. You know, or Darmanitan the same thing. So it's going to allow that as well. I can also Leech Seed to give, you know, those 2 big heavy hitters some HP back over the course of a game. And, you know, it's offensive for water-type defensive mons, which I'm, of course, going to be drawing, having these 2 behemoths. I heard the word behemoth in, like, a video in, like, 2009, and I say it ironically, and now I'm afraid that's not ironic anymore. So that's where we are with that. Let's get on to pick number 4. I wanted Registeel as a steel type that can get hazards up, but unfortunately that was taken about 3 picks before. So Copperajah is here, and we are accumulating a fire weakness. Even though we have a quad fire resist in Dracovish, we are going to try to, you know, remedy this going forward. But Copperajah does a couple things that the top 2 need, and that is more hazard support, so I can get rocks up. It's a steel type. So, you know, if a fairy type wants to come in, or maybe even a rock type wants to come in with a rock type, you know, for Darmanitan, you know, yeah, we could throw Copperajah in there. Also, you know, nice immunity to possibly toxic spikes, a nice poison immunity, another one. So, you know, well, he's immune to toxic spikes when Roserade is on an immunity to toxic spikes, but it actually gets rid of them. It's better than that. It's a getter rid of. I hope it's a technical term that I use there. I'm not quite sure. But Copperajah kind of just fits that framework of steel type check, can get hazards up check, and is a big, beefy Mama Jama. Mama Jama? Is that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm here trying to relate, and it's not working. So there's really not much more to say that Copperajah does. He's big, beefy, gets rocks up, and he looks dope doing it. So that's, I mean, what more can you want? Did someone call for an order of sticky webs? Because it's Ribombee time, baby. So Ribombee has a few things that I like this team needs. It's a fast U-turner, so I can, you know, force offensive pressure and just bop right out to one of my big, heavy slammers. I'm gonna try to use a different adjective or a different noun to describe them every time. You know, Mama Jamma. Behemoth, heavy slammer. I'm running out quickly. I was running out before I even started this, so we're gonna go to the depths of my subconscious here. So get sticky webs up, so it's gonna allow Dracovish and possibly Darmanitan to just be faster than things and then run them over. And of course, Dracovish benefits greater with that Vicious Rend being faster. Also, a fairy type and a bug type combo, so a quad resist fighting, so it kind of helps out Copperajah in that regard, and kind of helps out Darmanitan in that regard. Also, a special attacker. I needed one of those that's high-powered. And Shield Dust, which is nice. I can prevent against secondary effects of attacks, which is kind of cool. But also, Quiver Dance. So the possibility of having this thing in the back where people might be so focused on my 2 heavy, oh, God, I don't know. Heavy, I'm going to say heavy slappers. That's what we're going with. That they might maybe forget about Ribombee until it's too late. Or I can get Ribombee going early on with some sticky webs and give my team some speed support. Let's get on to pick number 6. I have 360 points left. Did I make a mistake? I don't know. We're going to find out, though. I really need a hazard removal specialist, and that is the Sawsbuck Hall of Famer Hitmontop. Hitmontop will allow me, obviously, rapid spin, access to triple axle, which I know for sure now is a real thing that it does, and intimidate. So this does essentially it does kind of those roles. It gets rid of hazards. Actually, does really 2 roles. It gets rid of hazards, and it can make physically offensive mons weaker with intimidate. The fact that it's triple axle is nice, but that's not needed on this team. So it checks really the box of hazard removal. Just it having Intimidate was just a bonus. We need some clerical support, and Audino is here for that. Throwing around wishes. Audino can get up a wish. Also, I mean, Regenerator is nice because it can allow me to, heal up after I take a hit from something. Also, it's a normal type, so Spectrier, that in all the new mons, really all the ghost types. Like Ghost Immunity. I wanted a Ghost Immunity, and Audino was there. It's a Cleric, which means... I'm not ready for this. Which means that it can make my two majestic deities at the front there. It can give them some wish support, and it's got Regenerator, so it can hopefully continue to give wish support as the game goes on. So the box of wish support, check. Moving on. So this was here, and I wanted a dark type, and the ones that were left were not very good. But then I thought of Zoroark. So what Zoroark can possibly do on this team is, obviously, it can disguise itself as one of my two megaton hammers up front there. Imagine, it can be fully specially offensive as well. Imagine they think they're going to be at the Dracovish, and they go into their bulky water, whoops, that's a grass knot coming for you. Sorry, you got to be aware of that. I drafted Zoroark second last time. What a mistake that was. But I think, given what my team can possibly do, hiding the fact that it could be, this thing could help me get rid of the mons that the two at the front would normally lose to. So, any kind of bulky water, by the kid with a grass knot, son, and you don't even know that it's that. And you might not even be able to risk that it's not, because you have to contend with Dracovish and Darmanitan. So hopefully Zoroark can catch a few people off guard, and hopefully it finds room on the team this year. It's tough. There's at least two every week, right? I mean, obviously I'm going to bring those two every week, right? Right? You have to. I mean, bearing some exceptions, possibly not, but Zoroark is. I think Zoroark's got a role in this squad, and I think he's going to do it effectively. So we got 3 mons left, 140 points. We are at the dregs, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the barrel, but we have mons to take and we have holes to fill. Let's do that. Another Sawsbucks Hall of Famer in Manectric. Now, what I did not mention about Zoroark is that it gets U-turn. It's fast. What does Manectric do? It's a Volt Switcher. It's got base 105 speed. And, I mean, it's nice he's immune to electric. That's cool. But so the boxes that are being checked now are, he's fast. Yep, he's got a momentum move. Yep. Manectric, it's what you do. And, I mean, it helps that you also can take out bulky waters that aren't part ground. So, let's, we're about that when time comes. But we got 4 mons so far that can turn and that are pretty quick. So, we are loving the possibility for momentum. We have 240s left. Let's do it. Absolutely just kidding about the 240s. We got a 60 and a 20 coming up. Clay Doll is here. Guys, I understand the analysis on a lot of these mons is not all that great. 2 reasons. 1, I'm not that good at the game. But more so, like I said, I knew what I was looking for in these picks. They needed to do specific things to help support those 2 dual, just Krakatoan like specimens at the front of the draft. And everything's going to support it. So Clay Doll, another rapid spinner. This one also... it's a rapid spinner, and it gets teleport, so it's got another momentum move, which I like. So we're picking up the momentum moves, so we can just teleport away, and that's what I wanted. Momentum. Another guy that can get rid of rocks. We have 20 points left. What is the best we can come up with here? Rounding out the draft is Torcat. That's a fire type, right? That's a fire type. He gets Parting Shot.